and welcome to another online assembly. It's a pity we can't all be together, but at least by doing it online we keep in touch, we get a bit of normality, and it gives the SPLT the opportunity to share with you some of the cultural events that would normally be celebrated during an assembly. And this week it's all about burns. In addition to this, we'll also have the opportunity to share some important information with you with regard to support that's available. But let me begin by saying thank you very much to all the members of staff that are involved in delivering the online learning, to delivering support in the hubs, to the support that we're offering via phone calls and online and even some home visits where required, if necessary. This level of support is important for looking after you, and we need to look after you at this very important time, both academically and from a pastoral sense. And if you need any help whatsoever, please make sure that you contact your guidance teacher. Please make sure that you ask your teacher via Google Classroom if it's subject related. Please make sure that you take the opportunity to call the person that we've allocated to support you if that support's needed. If you ask for help, we will give you it. In terms of what's coming up next, we still don't have a firm date for returning to school. We do think that it's going to be quite soon after the February break. The information in the media suggests that we might get some of the senior phase pupils and the primaries and the nursery kids all back in towards the end of February. It will definitely be blended learning in some shape or form, we believe. And we think that the First Minister or the Deputy First Minister will make an announcement next Tuesday and give us all firm dates. But until then, blended learning is on the cards, but online learning is on the go at the moment, and you need to keep engaging with it. What we do know is that there'll be no inferred judgments this year. So everything that you're doing online, all the stuff that you've still got to do in your class, that still needs to be done, because there will be assessments, and these assessments will be held throughout April and May, ready for submission in June. So please keep attending your classes, keep doing the work, and keep getting ready for these assessments that will lead to your SQA certification if you're a 4th, 5th or 6th year pupil. For everyone else, logging on and doing your work's just as important, because all the work that you do in S1, 2 and 3, that's going to help you as you go further up the school. But you are working hard, most of you, so keep going and well done. Right, I'd like to pass on now to the SPLT, who are going to do an assembly on burns and then give you some support information, and then they're going to give you some good news about the tasks, the things that they've been putting online for you. One last thing, I'm posting on Instagram, as are the SPLT, so we send letters out to all your families, but if you're a youngster and you don't want to read long letters that we're sending out, then keep an eye on Instagram, sign up for it, keep an eye on the YouTube channel as well, and then you'll keep abreast of what's going on. So I hope you're all well, I hope you're learning well, I hope you're going to have a lovely weekend, and I'll see you in the next online assembly. Thank you.
Welcome to our assembly, everyone. Before we get started, we just wanted to say thank you for all your hard work that you've been putting in over the past few weeks. We know it's been a really difficult time, but we're really proud of all the work that everyone's put in.
Keep it up, keep going. Now onto this.
So Robert Burns, also known as Robbie Burns, he was born on the 25th of January 1759 and he died in 1796. He is Scotland's national poet and is recognised all over the world for his work. He focused on universal themes such as love and nature while doing his work. One of his most well-known pieces is Auld Lang Syne.
Robert Burns was born in the village of Alloway, which is only 2 miles south of Ayr. His parents were William and Agnes, who were farmers who made sure he got a good education and could read from an early age. Hard physical labour on the farm took its toll on Burns, who increasingly turned his attentions towards the passion of poetry, nature, drink and women, which would characterise the rest of his life. He married Jean Armour, and by the age of 27 he was famous across the country with many poems.
In Scotland, we annually celebrate Burns Night to commemorate the life and poetry of Robert Burns. Robert Burns was one of the most significant poets in Scottish history. The annual event began after his death, when his friends celebrated his life and career. It is now a known celebration around the world, as well as a part of Scotland's culture and heritage.
Most people celebrate Burns Day by having a Burns supper to remember his life and work. A Burns supper is where people gather together and eat haggis, play the bagpipes, and read some of their favourite Burns poems. The first Burns supper was held in July 1801, when 9 of Burns's closest friends got together to mark the 5th anniversary of his death. It took place in Burns's cottage in Alloway. They ate haggis, held performances of his work, and said a speech in his honour. This is where the tradition came from.
Obligatory fun facts. Michael Jackson was a huge fan of Robert Burns, and it is claimed that he worked on that unreleased album of Burns's poems set to music. Thriller is claimed to be inspired by Burns's Tom O'Shanter poem. Best known as a poet, Burns actually wrote twice as many songs as poems. Burns had at least 12 children with 4 different women. 3 of his daughters were called Elizabeth. Burns wrote affectionately about a daughter of his, which made him one of the first fathers in recorded history to write a sort of love letter to his daughter. Burns mocked accusations of him being a fornicator. That means being a bit cheeky. Burns's youngest son was born on the very same day that Burns died. Burns planned to move to Jamaica, but when sales took off, he moved to Edinburgh instead. And finally, the founders of socialism and liberalism were inspired by the works of Burns, as they had become more political as he aged.
Self-care advice. Having a good routine can help you cope with change, which is especially important right now, and it'll help you keep up with schoolwork and form healthy habits. Being active every day can improve your mood and reduce stress while keeping you healthy and clearing your mind. Taking regular breaks from social media for a few hours a day is important for your mental health. You could start by not using it during school hours to help you concentrate and limit distraction.
It's normal to feel lonely during this lockdown and difficult to get used to not seeing your friends at school or some of your family in person. Some ways to avoid feeling lonely like this and regularly communicating with people online are by creating group chats on social media or things like WhatsApp, having regular FaceTime calls with your friends to keep in touch with them, and you can also meet one person if you follow government guidelines and meet outdoors. Online learning and being at home all day can be stressful and difficult, so it's important you find 1 or 2 hours every day to relax. To do this, you can find something you enjoy, like listening to music, reading a book, or mindfulness, and make sure you leave 1 or 2 hours to yourself to do this to de-stress. Make sure you try and find a new thing or a different thing to do every day so that you don't get bored.
We know that this lockdown has been tough for everyone and understand that being out of school and in online learning is a difficult transition. If anyone is struggling with their mental health this lockdown or any other problems, then guidance teachers and teachers are always here to offer help and support. If you're struggling with your mental health, then talking to a trusted adult is often helpful, as well as speaking to your friends. However, if you feel you need extra support, there's a website called Childline which offers a web chat, allows you to ask an anonymous question, or can connect you on the phone to a counsellor.
Okay, so we now have our weekly announcements for everyone. As some of you may have seen, we've been setting weekly lockdown challenges. Last week's challenge was to send us a photo of your favourite lockdown meal, and our winner was Mr. Donald. This week's challenge is to send us a photo from a walk that you've completed over lockdown, and all the entries have to be in by the end of the school day on Monday. Active Schools have also set a Strava challenge for a girl in Butte. They want to see how many miles you can run, cycle and walk. There's lots of prizes to be won, individual prizes and prizes from the school. Thank you to everyone who's already signed up, and we need everyone to put in as much effort as possible. Argyll and Butte have also set up lots of workshops and quizzes and activities that you can get involved in outside of school hours. So here is a timetable of all the different activities you can get involved in. There's a website that you can go to sign up for these activities, and we will leave the link to that website below this presentation.
Thanks everyone for listening. We hope to see you soon.